Our top story today was the sentencing hearing for Chad Daybell. Yesterday, a jury convicted him of multiple charges, including first-degree murder in the deaths of J.J. Vallow, Tylee Ryan, and Tammy Daybell. Now the jury must determine if the deaths warrant capital punishment. Before deciding whether to impose the death penalty, the jurors heard impact statements from several of the victims' family members. Here's what they had to say about their loved ones.
It makes me angry. And it destroys me to know Tammy was treated how she was.
Tammy Daybell's father, Ron Douglas, first to make a victim impact statement Friday. Because they're victims, they weren't shown to the public, but they were heard. After Tammy's dad were her brothers, Matthew and Michael.
They said destroyed because losing Tammy, who to me was the emotional heart and glue of our siblings group, was a slow and steady destruction of elements of our family as we knew it.
I have been robbed of the opportunity of growing old with my little sister, being grandparents together and teasing each other into old age. I have had my peace stolen.
And her youngest brother, Ben, and his wife, Kelsey, whose twins were born mere days before Tammy died.
My children only know their Aunt Tammy from pictures, stories, and grave marker that they frequently request to visit. They only know their dad as someone dealing with great amounts of grief and anxiety, and I only know how to parent as someone fighting through the tidal waves of loss.
Tammy's murder is the direct cause of our suffering. Pain, fractured relationships, and unhealed wounds are all part of the aftermath. This is the legacy of anguish and sorrow that will haunt our family for generations.
Samantha Gwilliam, Tammy's sister, crying as she describes Tammy as a good person who loved her family.
My sister, Tammy, was my best friend. My sister was ripped from our lives. Because of her murder, we lost a beloved mother, grandmother, sister, aunt, and daughter. She is irreplaceable.
JJ and Tylee represented on the stand by their big brother, Colby.
It's not an overstatement to say that I lost everything. I stand here today, motherless, fatherless, sisterless, and brotherless. The only course forward is to trust in Christ, knowing that he has them in his arms, and wait for the day that we all meet again.
Also speaking for JJ, his grandma, Kay Woodcock. She expressed her pride at having a grandson who was smart, loving, and special, but who was also taken too young.
The constant question remains, who would he have become? What kind of man would he have been? Would he be a famous scientist with incredible math skills? What would his amazing imagination have bloomed into? Would he have been the next Albert Einstein, Steve Jobs, Tim Burton, Elon Musk? We will never know. There is a hole in my heart, in the hearts of every member of my family, that can never be filled and will remain for the rest of my life.
Finally, Annie Cushing, Tylee's aunt, speaking about her beautiful, smart, sarcastic niece.
Tylee had her whole life ahead of her. She had dignity, she had dreams, she had goals. This defendant stole all of that.
The jury is still deliberating on sentencing and will resume tomorrow morning. Chad was also convicted of grand theft and insurance fraud, for which the court will sentence him at a later date.